Yes. Okay. We're recording. It's all good. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to explain how the songs came into being, perform them. I'll mute you guys while I perform them, and then I'd like to give a chance for people to respond and anything that comes up for you after the song. You guys are in these songs, which is why I wanted to do this so much, because a lot of the influence of talking with all of you wonderful ladies and hearing your stories and your interactions and experiences were woven into a lot of these songs. So to start with, I have a chant that I'm going to sing that I wrote. I don't feel like I wrote this one. I was walking the dogs and I was thinking about the nature of the work that I wanted to do with the Cailleach over the winter. And it was mid-October-ish, and I just thought, you know what, there's a lot of like dream time work that's gonna need to happen. Had a lot of issues my whole life with sleep and insomnia, and when I dream, I lucid dream, and it's ridiculously vivid. And so I just started singing, and it just came out kind of fully formed. And so I'm gonna light my candles while I do this. And since you're muted, you are more than invited to sing along. The words are not difficult at all. Okay, I'm gonna grab my matches. On Cailleach I go, into the deep, deep dreaming. On Cailleach I go, into the deep, deep dreaming. Walk with me there in the cave of my soul, there in the deep, deep dreaming. Tell me the stories I already know, here in the deep, deep dreaming. On Cailleach I go, into the deep, deep dreaming. On Cailleach I go, into the deep, deep dreaming. Walk with me there in the cave of my soul, there in the deep, deep dreaming. Tell me the stories I already know, here in the deep, deep dreaming. So that was the first thing I wrote in this whole situation.
I love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could see it as an anthem for the dark as we gather to go down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be something I sing for sure on Samhain, probably on Autumn Equinox as well. Yeah. Yep. So, and there's a lower part to that, but you know, I only have one voice. When I can sing with people again, we can do the harmonies and it'll be really cool. But until then, it's just that. All right, then we had the Corrie Brecken Pool, so we're gonna revisit this.
I would like to say also that there's not so many songs that talk about what like we already know, you know, in our subconscious in such a simple and really beautiful way. It's just like the words are right on.
Thank you. Okay. Corrie Brecken, Corrie Brecken, Corrie Brecken Pool, where I sit and sing to you at the Corrie Brecken, Corrie Brecken, Corrie Brecken Pool, where I sing to you. snowflake. Answer no or answer not. What's offered here is one or long. In the Cody Brecken, where I sit and sing to you at the Cody Brecken, where I sing to you. Cody Brecken, where I sit and sing to you at the Cody Brecken, where I sing to you. So most of you have heard that already, but it was important to be included.
Is anyone else having trouble hearing Rachel?
Oh, no?
Okay.
Okay, I'll just check my mic level real fast.
Yeah, I would raise the mic level.
That's why it's using my computer mic instead of my
Okay.
fancy one. Let's see. I don't want to hear that. Yes, I hear it. Go away. I don't want to test. Audio settings, that's what I want. Okay, yeah. Pretty low here.
It is such a haunting melody too.
All right, is that better, Dee?
Oh,
Yep, that's gonna stick
Can
with
you hear me more
today.
now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me more now, or is it still pretty low?
definitely.
I can hear you.
No, I can't hear
Much
you.
better.
Oh, great. Thumbs up, thumbs down, I'm not sure. We're good? Okay,
Yeah, loud
perfect.
out. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
You know, when you were playing it,
Oh,
oops, sorry. I was just saying, I know you're playing a guitar, but I kept hearing harp when you were playing it.
I can't hear you because now my speakers are being ridiculous. Try again, Della.
I was just going to say, I know you were playing guitar, but I was hearing it with harp.
Oh, that would be
With
really
harp music,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Perhaps a boron in the background somewhere.
Yeah, well, I can only play so many. I don't know how to play
Exactly.
boron. But yeah, that's
like
what
the
I
old
miss
one-man
about,
bands they used to have.
yeah, making music with people. Like,
hmm
just,
Ooh, a challenge, a new instrument.
yeah. Okay, this next one, a few people have heard, but I'm not sure how many. This one I wrote in December when we did the lesson on her fairy cattle. And I had a series of 3 extremely potent experiences with the guided journey, involving me shapeshifting into a caribou and giving birth, and just a lot of really intense stuff that had a lot of personal meaning for me and my particular journey of I'm syncretizing different parts of Christianity and paganism and things like that. And so for me, it was really, well, the biggest image was I ended up as a woman bleeding out on the hills of Scotland holding the Christ child, and I had antlers on my head, and it was really, really intense. And so I wrote this, and this is called The Antlered Child. And so this is very much, I am this woman in a lot of ways in this song. 'Twas on a morn afore the sun broke the night's hold on everyone, a woman in dreams of dark and cold called out in shame colic came on her dear. Lost in the mire of shifting scenes, at fault and in peril where'er she be, her flailing hand grasped the stone, tied to the bed by its hole, on colic came on her dear. Daughter, you are of daughters of mine, your shrieks the wind carried through the night, the one you called is here. Climb up, my dear, climb up, my dear. Now through the night she gently sleeps, silence and peace she seems to keep, but her heart is far from here. Running with others free and wild, shape-shifting one, the antlered child, one of Uncolic's dear. Need a drum for that one too.
Wow, I could see all that in my head. I could see the film of it.
Mhm. I love the rhythm of it. That chorus, I just wanted to sing over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote it like a couple hours before our gathering for that lesson. And so when we were in breakout rooms, I sang it for the people in my breakout room, and that was really cool.
Mm.
And then we have the I am chant. So this was from the Bridget course, and I've sung this before. And this song does not have a particular melody. It is supposed to be a chant. I've worked with it a lot. Every time I sing it, it is different, but every time I sing it, it takes on a different sense of how I experience Bridget to be. Sometimes it very much has a keening sensibility. Sometimes it very much is like lilting. Sometimes it's got like those hammer blows in it. So the lyrics are in the Bridget course, and I can post them elsewhere too. And it's definitely like, use it if it feels useful to you. This one I definitely want to spread far and wide because it feels very, very powerful, very deep. I am the doorway, walk through me, from darkness into light, from illness into healing, from cold into the kind warmth. I am the woman, the bearer, the carrier, the nurturer, the healer, the maker, singer, weaver, come to me. I am the teardrop, the clear saline cleansing, the morning through the night, into morning's pale light. I am the keening. I am the fire, transforming, igniting, transmuting, renaming.
you know how in Gaelic psalm singing, it's like a piece of scripture and everybody sings it back at different points.
Mm.
I had this bizarre sense of, you said you do it differently every time,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost imagined like I'm hearing it this time, but could you imagine if you recorded it so like 5 of you were singing,
Yeah.
like all your different, oh, that took me quite deep, that chant. I feel quite a little bit altered listening to it.
Yeah. It, it's hard to talk about sometimes because language just seems so square, linear, and it doesn't quite fit the experience of making the music, which is weird because I always write the music, the words first. But yeah, it feels like it comes from different parts of me every time I sing it too. So that makes a lot of sense. And it kind of has that quality of the Gaelic psalm singing that you introduced us to, Jude, I think. Like that kind of everybody just pick a note and go kind of thing. Which I think is a very accessible way to do church singing or any sort of congregational singing. That sounds great.
I was thinking when I was listening, and thank you for this one. I really loved it. I could see it in a ritual with everyone either just singing all together or taking turns singing a line, and even adding a line or something like that. Because each one, to your point, speaks to a different part of us. Like when we talk about I am the teardrop, or I am the woman, I am the that was, it resonated definitely.
I'm glad. Okay, I'm gonna use my piano once I turn it back on. So I did an exercise this spring. Well, not really spring. It was February. So right after Emilk, I did this very intense exercise of FAM, which is February Album Writing Month. And I wrote 22 songs in 28 days. And 7 of them were inspired by cards that I had drawn from the Cailleach Oracle by Jane Bridson, which a lot of us have worked with. And so this next set is songs from there. So this first one is called Take the Pause, and it was written inspired by the Crossroads card. So if you haven't seen it, it's basically navy blue with kind of light etching, and there's a lone tree at a crossroads with a red strand of yarn with hagstones. And it's just this evocative piece of melody. I should have taken them out beforehand, but. I'm gonna sing over my shoulder so that you guys can be sure to hear the words. At the apex in the center, hovering, passing the doorway from yesterday to tomorrow. Don't miss this creativity vortex. If you step too fast, by it will cease to exist. Take the pause. In the valley's looming center, staggering limb, the dark passage between points of light. Don't miss this creativity vortex. If you step too fast, by it will cease to exist. Take the pause. moment around you. Take stock of your balance before you take your next forward step. Don't miss this creativity vortex. If you step too fast, by it will cease to exist. Don't miss this creativity vortex. If you step too fast, by it will cease to exist. Take the pause.
So, did you say it was the Crossroads card that inspired you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
For those who, yeah, that's what I was rooting around for those who had seen it.
Mhm.
I think you just gave me my medicine for the day.
Oh,
Yeah. And and I was looking out this way because the crows were swirling around out there when you started singing it. It was
wow.
awesome. It gave me goosebumps.
Oh my goodness. All the synchronicities. I know. We have such a stormy day today, and the last song that I'm going to sing is about the last snow of winter, and we're basically getting the last snow of winter tonight as I'm saying, and it's just so cool.
So,
Yeah. Okay, and then Della, if you don't mind keeping those out, I'm going to ask you to go a couple more. The next one is based on I think it's called Sunset, the Sunset card.
Okay, take a look.
There's the mound and the rabbit in the clouds. Or Setting Sun, that's what it's called.
Setting Sun.
Yeah.
I've got one called Sun. Okay.
And then,
a different one.
so this one is called Little Kit. And
Oh,
yes, that's the one. And this card is all about endings. And this card came out, I have a relationship that I've basically ended within the last 6 months. And the work in the Cailleach Circle had a lot to do with that. And so when this card came out and I was like, oh, I have to write a song about this, this was a really good opportunity for me to kind of be gentle about the ending. And so I wrote a lullaby called Little Kit.
okay.
Grandmother hares bounding down from the sky, and into the mound hops to where you and I will sleep through the night. Little Kit snuggled in heather and meadow sweet, down in the dark under mass tangled roots of trees. Sleep, now sleep. Another day over, our songs have all now been sung. The last note is fading, where on cold starlight it's hung in memory of the sun. Little Kit snuggled in heather and meadow sweet, down in the dark under mass tangled roots of trees. Sleep, now sleep. Now hold me close. close, dear, my eyes are both fallen dark. Cradle me softly where I can still feel your spark. Sing to me of the lark. Sing to me of the skylark. Little kid snuggled in heather and meadow sweet, down in the dark under mass tangled roots of trees. Sleep now, sleep. Little kid snuggled in heather and meadow sweet, down in the dark under mass tangled roots of trees. Sleep now, sleep.
Again.
Yeah. Okay.
I love
Got
that.
another ukulele one, unless anyone has something they want to share from that.
No, I just love the lullaby. I just was like swaying
Yeah.
with it. I love the melody.
You know, there's a good Glasgow saying of it would bring a tear to a glass eye. You could really let yourself go with that, and I'm like, I'm not going there. It's like, but you could. It's like, oh my gosh, so tenderly sad.
Yeah, and I wanted to be with the heather and the meadowsweet. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked the music in that one very much too.
Yeah.
It's very swirling.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of minor sevenths in that, which kind of adds kind of achy tone to it. So yeah, I like that one a lot. It's personal, but in the
What
best
did you say that the title was of that piece?
I just called it Little Kit.
Little Kit. Okay.
Yeah. It kind of emerged, this next one and another one that I'll sing in a minute. They all kind of were sung to my child self. Done a lot of reparenting in the last 6 months. My relationship with my parents was deeply unhealthy on a number of levels, and coming from a conservative Christian background where you are just supposed to honor your parents and not question things meant it took a long time for me to recognize that. And so, yeah, most of it's been happening in very kind of solid ways through this last 6 months. So, okay. This next one's not based on the Cailleach Oracle, but it was based on a card draw that I got given from somebody on FOM. They were just drawing cards for people and you could write a song on it. And the card I got was from the Witch's Oracle deck, and it was called Rooted. And I had written this tiny little lyric a few months ago, and I wrestled with this song a lot, and I wanted it to be profound, but just wouldn't become like an 80s power ballad or anything cool like that. It just wanted to be this simple little thing that was, just simple and accessible. So this is The Magic I've Made. Reaching down, reaching out, growing up, growing stout, sunshine above where once there was shade. Do I dare to stand tall in this new world I've made? Hands outstretched, handholds met, welcomes made with love and respect. Moonshine above where once there was shade. Do I dare to speak out in this new world I've made? Reaching down, reaching out, dare to grow, dare to shout. Sunshine above where I dance in the glade. Stand tall and be proud of the magic I've made. Sunshine above where I dance in the glade. Stand tall and be proud of the magic I've made.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one so far.
That is beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, I like that one.
Mission accomplished then.
Well, I mean, I like them all, but I really like that one
Mhm.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that one seemed to reach a lot of people. You post all your songs on FOM, right? And people listen and give feedback and everything. And that one had a list of comments way longer than any of my other ones. So it seems to be one that has a connection point, which is really cool to be able to write that. Okay, this next one often makes me think of you, Jude, because this one is based on the Harvest Hag card from the Cailleach Oracle. And she is this beautiful old woman who has this hair folded in her cloak. And so this is all about the end of the harvest, that moment where you realize that you can take a deep breath, that the fallows has been achieved. Yes, that's the card. And this is called Send the Hair. I'm going to use words for this one because sometimes I get a little lost. One last sheaf stands tall in the gloaming, bending grasp the smooth handle of the scythe. The last stroke frees the fields for the winter. Send the hair running, dark nights are coming, old bones are cold, even close to the stove. Send the hair running, snowfall is coming, gather the fruits of your labor and love. Dress now the harvest hag, welcome her in, under the roof of your dear humble home. Shelter her through troubles, her blessing to earn. The earth is now fallow, the moon is in shadow. Light candles and watch the night turn into day. The earth now lies fallow, her face gone that was, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
It felt like, it
Pardon?
felt like another anthem for that time of year, you know.
Mhm.
I was just like looking at her here and like her necklace of ramen berries.
Mhm.
Mhm. I'm just curious, have you ever explored doing that one with a lower register or a lower key? Just on a musical sort of question. Yeah.
Yeah. My voice gets tired when I sing too long.
When you sing in a lower register? Okay.
Yeah, I was a late blooming soprano, and now that I have hit my soprano-ness, it never wants to come down.
Oh, I hear you.
And
I think mine's gone into bass.
yeah, I was trapped in mezzo world for so long. I'm like,
Yeah.
no more lower than middle C. We're done.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I grew up as a contralto, so that's why I was wondering.
Yeah. One that I didn't sing tonight.
Can I just ask you what the chorus was? It was like, send the hair running, dark nights are coming, gather the fruits of your labor. Was there, did I miss something at the end of that?
So it's send the hair running, dark nights are coming, old bones are cold, even close to the stove.
Yeah.
Oh,
Send the hair running, snowfall is coming, gather the fruits of your labor and love.
I love those lyrics. I'd love to see them. If you do post them, it'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
To me, that's another almost like affirmation or ritualistic kind of thing I would want to bring into ceremony. Yeah.
Mhm.
like just an even like it just so lulled me in. It's like send the hair running, dark night. Yeah. Do you know Jane Brightson?
I don't. I think a friend of mine on Facebook shared some of her art, and I fell in love with it. And then that was when she was working on the cards, and she was posting the paintings as they were finished. And I hopped on that train immediately. I was one of the first printings. I got my deck in August.
Sure,
I missed that train.
Yeah,
I'm sure she'd love to. I know I talk to Jane once in a while. I'm sure she'd love to, like, if you ever put any of these on YouTube or something, you know, the fact that some of these were your inspiration for some songs. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, yeah, I
think she'd be flattered. You're right, Jude.
Well, thank you. That's very affirming.
And this sounds ridiculous. I mean, her deck is absolutely stunning and amazing.
Yeah.
But I've kind of needed, I mean, it's the Cailleach, come on, but I've still needed an invitation into some of them.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't quite understand that. So some of your songs there have been extra invitation to dive in a little bit.
Oh, that's wow. Well, I'm very honored to be able to perform that service for anyone.
Yeah.
And especially for you, that you've led us through this last 6 months on this journey. That means a lot. I've got
that song really made me feel like winter was coming again, and it's like, no. No.
That's why I saved the last song
Spring.
for the last song, because it's not about saying goodbye to winter. Yeah, I had that too. I was like, I wrote it towards the end of the month, and there were starting to be some more like spring-filled days, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write this and I'm gonna sing it, and then I'm gonna leave it alone for a while, because that's not happening right now.
I'm ready for the dark.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one is called Sovereignty. It wasn't inspired by the Sovereignty card, but I think it fits with that card from Jane's deck. It was another exercise that I had done on FOM, and this was, I think it was the Dragon Fate Oracle, and the card was Gentle Power. And I have never known gentle power in my life. I have known very firm power. I have known very aggressive power. And I really, really wrestled with that concept. And once again, I ended up writing to my childhood self. I knew a lot as a child. I knew more than I needed to know. And in the situation that I was, it was not welcome a lot of the time. And so I shut it down. And so I went through a long time where I didn't know how to access my own instinct. And it's slowly coming back, and I'm slowly being able to look back and honor where that instinct was fighting, calling, screaming to be heard, and say, you know, I'm sorry for shutting you down. You had every right to say those things. You needed to say those things. I'm listening to you now. And so that's what this is. It's just called Sovereignty.
Dear little you, dear little me, you always knew just what you'd need, but your voice was small and you weren't yet tall, so nobody saw your sovereignty. Dear little you, unfed, without company, you saved yourself right from the start, with imagination and strength of heart.
Wow, I love that just resonated with me so strongly. So strongly.
I think a lot of us as women have that kind of wound. Different sources.
You're killing me.
Yeah. I love that it's a thread that runs through the songs, that sense of healing from within and healing, knowing oneself and manifesting it. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
I just drew a picture that I'm going to send you, Rachel.
Oh, I'm excited.
it was me walking through the winter holding my little me self.
Oh my goodness, that's so lovely.
I'm gonna I'll post it in the Cailleach circle. It's so much like that. It's beautiful.
Oh, I love
Thank you
that.
for sharing that.
All right, on a lighter note, one of my favorite stories, these next two are songs that I wrote before, but she was quite adamant that they be included. And this first one is based on one of my favorite stories of the Cailleach when I was first getting to know her. It's the story of the guy who goes to the Cailleach and is like, I know that you are a great walker, but like, I'm a dude, so I'm gonna challenge you to see if I can walk as far as you do in a day. And she's like, okay, I have one instruction for you. And he goes, oh, well, okay, whatever, I can do one instruction. She's like, you better have your wife churn a fresh pot of butter that day, and you got to sleep with it at your feet when you get home. And he thinks it's so stupid, but he tells his wife, and his wife is like, no, if she told you that, if the Bean Fisa told you that, you need to do this. Like, there's no option. So they go on this walk. They walk the whole length and breadth of Ireland and probably further places because, you know, she's a giantess and can walk wherever she pleases. And he keeps up, but barely. And he staggers into his hut and falls asleep. And his wife slaps the crock of butter against his feet. And when he wakes up in the morning, his body has sucked all the butter into his body because he was so used up by just keeping up with walking with the Cailleach for one day. And that is the basis for, oh, and then also there was the picture of her running around with boulders in her apron. If I could find it, that would be very helpful. There we go. Okay. This is boulders.
Boulders in my apron and I'm running fast where I roam. Walk with me today and you'll understand why you need a crock of butter fresh at home. Challenge me, you miss man, to walk across the world where I have gone but you have never been. You match my pace but mortal feet were down on paths of stone, and I cannot ensure my words you'll heed. Boulders in my apron and I'm running fast where I roam. Walk with me today and you'll understand why you need a crock of butter fresh at home. Daughters, mothers, women all know of what I speak, that shrouded mystery for which you burn. Your clumsy hand may grasp the weft, but you shall never see how weaving blood of life the pattern turns. Boulders in my apron and I'm running fast where I roam. Walk with me today and you'll understand why you need a crock of butter fresh at home. I am the ancient day, I am the mountain's bones. I am the oldest one, the wild winds moan. I keep the winter nights, I keep the greetings day. I sleep in firelight and walk in sunny gaze. Boulders in my apron and I'm running fast where
feistiness, because can't have a night dedicated to the colic without some.
I could see this crazy ritual of women having to run around with some rocks in their apron.
Yeah.
The Beanfisa games instead of the Highland games.
Yeah, it's like, how far can you chuck 'em?
Yeah.
I think that will be my mantra when I'm walking tomorrow. Boulders in my apron, and I'm walking fast or I'm running fast.
Yep. Whole new way of seeing power walking.
Yeah, yeah. I love that rhythm too. You're right. It needed a fast beat.
Yeah. My husband is so sick of hearing that because it took me a while to be able to like play it and sing it at the same time. So I just was like doing it for hours, and he's like, "Can you be done with that?" No, it has to be right. Yeah.
So when you were talking earlier, I wasn't sure if I heard it properly. Do you write the music first, or is it the lyrics that inspire the music and the rhythm and all
It's
that?
usually always the lyrics. Sometimes, like with the first chant in the Corey Brecken song, I just start singing, and it just is like it was just waiting to be set free. But most of the time, it's triggered. I start journaling, and most of my lyrics are just pre-written. They just come from somewhere. I don't know yet if I'm like, there are some that I definitely feel like I've channeled or I've been given by certain goddesses. The next one, I definitely feel like I was given from the colic. And I have one that I wrote to Hecate. That was definitely her being like, "This is a thing. You need to write it down." It's like, okay, yes, I will do that. And you need to sing it. Okay, sure. Yeah. I think, yeah. All right. Never felt so deferential, even with the colic. The colic is all like crusty and grumpy and whatever, but Hecate was like, "I will lay down the law."
Yeah, she's like that.
Well, all right then. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll do these last two in a row. And then we can chat and whatever for the end. So the two that I have left are Between, which covers exactly what's happening right now with the colic. It's about that renewal story. It's got the barking dog. In mine, the way I envisioned the myth at first was that not that she died, but that she was taken out of the physical immediacy of our world and banished behind the veil into the other world. And so there's a verse where it talks about her hovel now being the Tor and winter being her cloak, and her kind of being mad at the divide that separates her from her realm that she was kind of kicked out of. And I've been kind of sitting with that as I've been preparing for this concert, because I don't know if that's how I see that myth anymore, but it does really encapsulate a lot of how I have felt as a woman, separated from my own authenticity, separated from my own voice, separated from my own body, and in a lot of ways. And so I'm leaving it in because I do think that it is a part of the story, even if it's not the way that I saw it when I first wrote it. And then the last song is The Last Snow, and it's a goodbye song to the colic, and has some longing for her to come back, but is definitely an honoring of the turning of the year and the turning of the seasons. So we'll do those two now.
path down to the river is swept with tears of rain, and I must travel thither, my youth to reclaim. I leave in early morning before the rising sun. I must drink from the river ere the day's begun. I walk between moonset and sunrise, where the air is thin and dreams begin. I walk between the land and sea and sing to starless skies. My feet carry me onwards, unknowing in the dark, and at the shepherd's threshold I hear the fatal bark. My hands clutch at the grasses, my teeth snap at the leaves, torn through the veil of greening. You cannot hear me keen. I walk between moonset and sunrise, where the air is thin and dreams begin. I walk between the land and sea and sing to starless skies. The tor is now my hovel, and winter is my cloak. I shriek and cry and grovel at the misty moat, to see once more my sisters, to run through fields of grain, to strip away my frozen veil, and see you once again. I walk between moonset and sunrise, where the air is thin and dreams begin. I walk between the land and sea and sing to starless skies. I walk between moonset and sunrise, where the air is thin and dreams begin. I walk between the land and sea, where once I was the only one, now under watchful eyes. This last snow I forgot to mention too is based on a card from the Cailleach Oracle deck, the card Struggle. Because for me, it's been a struggle to leave winter behind, and I think I'm not alone in that. last snow of winter falls slow, soft and sweet. It clings to the branches that soaring skies meet. Such soft downy bedding, ne'er draped any bed, nor pillowed the dreaming. Within tiny heads, the last snow of winter falls slow, soft and sweet. It clings to the branches that soaring skies meet. The last snow of winter all troubles obscures, softens all edges, no sharp rock emerge. When the day's path is stony and tangled with brush, recall the late winter snowfall lush. The last snow of winter all troubles obscures, softens all edges, no sharp rock emerge. Summer's long days may bring folly and fun. Blossoms bloom wantonly under the sun. But I dream of ice, wishing summer was over and done. The last snow of winter falls so soft and sweet. It clings to the branches that soaring skies meet. Such soft downy bedding, ne'er draped any bed, nor pillowed the dreaming. Within tiny heads, the last snow of winter falls so soft and sweet. It clings to the branches that soaring skies meet.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Those last two together were just wonderful.
Thanks.
I loved the big chords that went with the last one. It was like, I could see her sort of like, you know, dancing as the snow sort of. She's like, my job's done for a while. I can go chill out.
Yeah. It really captured that sense of endings and beginnings, and but knowing that they'll come back again. I just, yeah, I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome. It captured it for me too. The last guided meditation that we did for class, she walked away. She hasn't walked away from me for 5 years. And it was melancholy for sure. You know, I know she'll be back. I know that when the harvest is over, I'll be with her again, work with her again. But it was very much okay, you've done this work. It's now time for you to find your own cyclical, seasonal harmony with the earth that's around you. So, yeah.
like to think she's always whispering to us anyway.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I have her antlers out and her
Ah,
her stuff's still out. It's just not focused on an altar anymore.
right.
I always have the fear of like when I go home. It's like I feel in the winter you can see her, you know, because you can see her in the rain clouds and the snow clouds. But she's too busy. Do you know what I mean? It's like I never really. But it's like I always find it's like in the summer that it's like, you know, she's got nothing to better to do, so she'll talk to you. But I always have this fear of like going back to my favorite hill where. And there's no, like the last time I went back, there was no voice. It was all silent. I was just like, oh, what the heck? It's like, I've been coming up here since I was 10 and there's always a voice. And like, there was no voice for half an hour. And it took for me to sit beside a holly tree and then there was a voice. But I don't know, maybe that says something about our world. You could hear an airplane more than you could, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the day that there absolutely is no voice is like, whoa, I'll probably just be going deaf.
It was a perfect ending for that group of songs. How will you be working with these? I mean, are you going to create an album for them or a collection?
Well, there are 2 cards. So when I did the pulling of the cards for FOM, there were 9 cards that came out, and the last 2 are gonna take me a while.
Okay.
They were the Wise Woman and the Veiled One.
Oh, strong cards.
Yeah. So that's definitely, but yes, I would like to create a 9-song kind of circle EP. One I didn't sing for you guys because it is a round. I wrote for the Mound card, and it's called Safe and Sound, and it's about community and about welcoming people into your space and sharing with them. But it has to be a round because it has to have that kind of layer to it. So, yeah, so I would like to do that. I am working with some people that an album is tentatively in the works, so I can't say too much, but I should be able
And
to.
they don't all have to be done now. I mean, some things are better marinated.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely come back to those other 2 and write for them. But yeah, I have a lot of songs that I've written over the years. So the first album will probably be not this exact thing, but yeah, some of them might be on it. Between probably will be on it.
When you mentioned FOM, can you tell me what that is again? I'm not familiar with it.
So if you've heard of NaNoWriMo in November, where people write
okay. Yeah.
month, it's very similar. FOM is where people write an album in a month. So February album writing month.
Oh, February album writing. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And yeah, so February album writing month. So the goal is to write 14 songs in 28 days. I clearly needed to do more than that. Writing 22, but yeah, it was the first time I had done it, and I was really scared that if I didn't write as close to a song every day that I would just stop. And it was right in that time where lockdown for us was ending and I was starting to go back to school, so then I didn't know how much time I was going to be at home, so I just really pushed. But
that's phenomenal. Really, yeah. That much and so good in such a short time. Wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it was really a cool experience though, because I ended up accessing parts of myself that I hadn't gotten to before songwriting. Like the Last Snow, that's the most classical piece that I've ever written, both vocally and musically. And then I wrote a spoken word sung piece at one point, kind of a rap. I'm not sure if I would call it that, but I did a lot of brand new things. I even wrote music for lyrics that somebody else had written, which was a totally new experience.
The Stone Cold Cailleach.
The new rap name.
That one wasn't about her, although she would definitely have approved of the message. Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal.
So I can
It's a great process that you went through. You went through the process, but it must have been really, I have to say, giving you a very profound understanding of the cycle and of her that perhaps is difficult to even talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think I've tended to think of An Cailleach as maybe more one-dimensional, but thinking of her from first snow to last snow, and the changes that she goes through is it's illuminating. I like that. I hadn't thought about it too much. I mean, I think of her annual renewal, but I don't think about the changes within her season, as it were. So between you and Jude, we've certainly been exposed to that.
Yeah. Well, I met her when I was 19. When I was given my Reiki attunement, I did an exercise with my Reiki master, asking for guides, and this haggard, hunched woman who was very frail the way she looked, but had a massive presence, was suddenly seated right in front of me with this gravelly, craggy voice, and just very matter of fact, and kind of, I'm here for you, which was exactly what I was looking for. I always wanted that sense of maternal lineage, and my maternal line is extremely broken through just broken relationships, a lot of trauma and abuse, and things that I'm only just now starting to name and kind of work through, so that I am no longer a carrier for, I'm a witness to that experience, but I'm no longer bearing the burden of that experience. And it's been 5 years of solid work with her exclusively, getting to a point where I could finally take that look and go into the core wrecking pool and see all the bits of myself as they were, and kind of pick and choose what I wanted to rebuild myself into, and then take that time and take the really deep stillness to just let that time be healing, and that void be both chaotic and creative.
Somewhat like a soul retrieval.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a pretty intense journey, so I'm really thankful that, Jude, that you let me put this on and share the product of it with people. And
it just adds a whole layers and layers to it as well, which is I feel we need an encore for the end. It's
I can do that. Let me take a quick look.
It could be one that you've already sung if you wanted.
It could. You know what? I think it needs to be The Magic I've Made.
Ah.
Reaching down, reaching out. Sorry. Reaching down, reaching out. Growing up, growing stout. Sunshine above where once there was shade. Do I dare to stand tall in this new world I've made? Hands outstretched, handholds met, welcomes made with love and respect. Moonshine above where once there was shade. Do I dare to speak out in this new world I've made? Reaching down, reaching out, dare to grow, dare to shout. Sunshine above where I dance in the glade. Stand tall and be proud of the magic I've made. Sunshine above where I dance in the glade. Stand tall and be proud of the magic I've made.
Bravo.
Bravo. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, I will make sure to post all the lyrics to those. And thank you once again for joining me. And it's still recording, so hopefully everything is on there. And I will get that uploaded and share it with you, Jude, so that the people that wanted to see this but couldn't make it will be able to enjoy. Thank you so much again, ladies.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Rachel.
you,
It was
Rachel.
wonderful.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.